All right, everyone, welcome. Today we're going to jump right into the wild world of Indian health advice, to finally figure out what's fact and what's fiction. We're about to bust some major myths.
Yeah, this quote, it probably hits a little too close to home, right? Health advice just bombards us from all sides. Family group chats, that well-meaning neighbor, you name it. But here's the thing. How on earth are we supposed to tell what's legit and what's just noise? That's the huge problem we're going to tackle today.
And it all leads to this classic dilemma. Your phone pings with yet another WhatsApp forward. Your family is swearing by something totally different, and then actual science seems to say something else entirely. So, who do you trust? It's honestly a lot to deal with.
But what if I told you there's a simple tool, a kind of framework, that can help you cut through all that noise? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build together today. Think of it as your own personal myth-busting compass.
So look, our goal here isn't just to give you a list of this is true, this is false. No, we're going way deeper. We're giving you a powerful framework you can apply to any health claim that comes your way. This is all about empowering you to make the best possible decisions for your own health.
And here it is, our 4-step compass. It's actually really simple. First up is context. We ask, why does this belief even exist in the first place? Then we look at the emotion. What feeling is this advice tapping into? Third, and this is crucial, we check the science. What do the actual facts say? And finally, we find a real practical solution. This is the tool we're going to use for the rest of our chat.
Okay, so we've got our compass. Now let's put it to the test, shall we? We're going to start with some of the biggest, most common myths floating around about food and diet in India.
This one's a classic, isn't it? How many times have you been told, just cut out the rice if you want to lose weight? It's a staple for millions, but man, it gets such a bad rap. So, what's the real story? Let's find out.
This just reframes the whole problem, doesn't it? The villain here isn't the rice itself, it's the balance, or lack thereof, on your plate. Think about it. A giant mountain of plain rice? Yeah, that's pretty much just a pile of calories. But a sensible portion of rice, paired with some protein-packed dal and fiber-rich veggies, suddenly, that's a complete energy-giving meal. The key isn't to eliminate it, it's all about the combination.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This is a myth I'm pretty sure many of us have heard, probably from our parents or grandparents. The idea that drinking hot water can literally just melt fat away. It sounds so easy, so appealing, but is it true?
Okay, time to pull out our compass again. Let's break it down. Context. Why do people do it? Well, it's a really comforting ritual, especially after a big, heavy meal. Emotion. It makes you feel lighter, But that feeling is often mistaken for actual fat loss. Science. Here's the hard truth. Body fat is just stored energy. The only way to melt it is with a calorie deficit. And sorry, but hot water doesn't create one. So what's the practical solution? Go ahead and enjoy it. It's fantastic for hydration, great for digestion. Just don't think of it as some kind of magic fat loss potion.
Awesome. So we've tackled diet, now let's switch gears. We're going to take our compass and point it toward the world of fitness, which, believe me, has its own jungle of myths we need to cut through.
Now, don't get me wrong, walking is amazing. It's probably one of the most accessible forms of exercise out there, which is great. And a lot of us think, hey, if I get my 10,000 steps, I'm all set, right? But is that really the full picture when it comes to being fit?
A good way to think about it is like a 3-legged stool. Walking is absolutely fantastic for one of those legs, your cardiovascular endurance. But for that stool to be stable, for you to have a really solid foundation of health, you need the other 2 legs. Strength training for your muscles and mobility work for your joints. You really need all 3 for what we call true fitness.
Oh man, this next one, it's a monster in the gym world. We've all heard it a million times. No pain, no gain. And yeah, it's supposed to be motivational, I get it, but honestly, it's one of the most misunderstood and frankly, dangerous pieces of advice you could follow.
Okay, so listen up because this is the critical distinction we all need to understand. There is a massive, massive difference between discomfort and pain. That muscle burn you feel when you're pushing yourself to get stronger, that's discomfort. That's good. That's a sign of growth. But a sharp, stabbing, or just nagging pain, that's not gain. That is your body screaming at you, hey, something is wrong. Ignoring that is just a one-way ticket to getting injured.
So, we busted myths about diet, we busted myths about fitness, which brings us to the big question. What is the real secret to getting and staying healthy? What's the one big takeaway from all this?
Well, here's the kicker. The secret
isn't a secret at all. It really comes down to a few simple, fundamental principles. It's about choosing consistency over some crazy, short-lived intensity. It's about finding balance instead of swinging from one extreme to another. And it's about embracing simplicity over all those complicated, confusing rules. That's what builds real, lasting health.
And you know what? This quote just brings it all home. Our job, and really your job for yourself, isn't to make health more complicated. It's to simplify the truth, because that's how you build trust, not just in a channel like this one, but more importantly, trust in yourself, in your own ability to make smart decisions.
And look, that's exactly what we aim to do here at the Mukesh Manoharan Studio. Give you clear, honest explainers that you can actually trust. So if you found this myth-busting compass helpful, do us a favor and subscribe. And definitely hit that little bell icon so you don't miss the next one. But before you go, I'll leave you with one final thought to chew on. What's one health fact you've always just accepted that maybe, just maybe, you'll now look at a little differently with your new compass?